Every spring, large tanker trucks travel some of Idaho's most remote back roads, carrying a cargo that is mostly doomed. Fish and game technicians attach tubes to the trucks to release steelhead and salmon smolts into the river system, with hopes that they will make it to the Pacific Ocean and back to these very waters where they are released. But in an average year, less than 0.5% of the Chinook salmon smolts that are released will make it back. Congressman Mike Simpson says the laws that govern the management of the Snake and Columbia rivers are outdated.
We're managing the Columbia River system, the Bonneville Power Administration, fish management, and other types of things, based on a 1980s law that was written with the best of intentions and did a great job in the 1980s, but we're facing an entirely different set of circumstances now, looking down the road. And what we need to do is design a system that's ready for the 2020s, 30s, 40s, and 50s.
Congressman Simpson was a keynote speaker at a forum on salmon, energy, and agriculture at BSU, and some of the attendees were a bit surprised by what he had to say, including Roy Akins, an outfitter and city councilman from Riggins, a community that relies on the dollars spent by salmon and steelhead anglers.
He stood up today and said everything we could only dream of hearing from a politician in Idaho that could champion this cause of recovering salmon and steelhead in our state.
In the late 90s, the discussion of how to save Idaho salmon included the possibility of breaching 4 dams on the lower Snake River in Washington, where a large percentage of the smolts die.
He's talking about that being a possibility, and he also admitted to climate change, which is a big factor in the decline of our steelhead and salmon, I personally believe.
Simpson's words were also encouraging to a man who represents those who have probably suffered the most from declining fish returns, the region's Native American tribes. Jamie Pinkham, the executive director of the Columbia River Intertribal Fish Commission, says restoring fish runs would require compromise, and he doesn't want any users of the hydro system to be damaged.
I mean, believe me, Indian tribes have had to live and survive through amazing challenges that tested our survival, our way of life, our religions, and we don't want to wish that on another community.
That's exactly the kind of collaborative thinking that many at the Salmon Forum say will keep salmon and steelhead returning to Idaho with a plan that works for all of the affected entities in the Columbia Basin.
Stupid.
And after what he heard at the forum in Boise, Roy Akins has renewed optimism.
And I believe we're going to build a coalition that's going to come together and champion this cause, and we're going to see our salmon and our steelhead recovered.
Steve Liebenthal, 6 on Your Side.